Official steps in. Ball is chased down by A-State, and we are underway at the Convo. Drea Gamble into the front court. Gives it right side to Ruffins. Out high for Brown Haywood. Khadijah swings it left wing for Gamble. Drea gets baseline into the paint. Floater, no good. Drea had the board momentarily, but then Kiana Keys came flying over the top and took it away from Gamble. Here comes UALR on offense for the first time. Galt hemmed up, has a pass not stolen, and then there's a whistle and a foul against UALR as Hannah Cadan got in there for the steal, and Kanisha Cobbins committed the foul. Game's first foul is on Cobbins. 28 seconds in. Red Wolves will get it off the turnover. Looking to strike first. Jamie Ruffins will walk it into the front court for A-State. Lob it to the high post at the free throw line for Jasmine Hunt. Back out to Ruffins, now in the left corner for Cadan. Hannah picks up a ball screen, gets into the paint, tried to drop it inside to Khadijah Brown Haywood. UALR knocks that away. 13 on the shot clock. Arkansas State will inbound underneath. 45 seconds in. No score here at the Convo. Cadan on the baseline will bring the inbounds pass. Hannah looking, lobs it into the backcourt, and there's a hold against UALR. It was a foot race into the backcourt, and Shanity James was holding Khadijah Brown Haywood. It's the first on James. Second UALR team foul, so now the Red Wolves get a full shot clock on the sideline. Into the backcourt it comes for Ruffins. She comes across. 19:10 to go, just underway here at the Convo. Ruffins to the high post again for Hunt. Jazz has her back to the basket, kicks it on the wing to Ruffins. Jamie picks up a screen, gets into the paint, to the basket, off the glass, missed the layup. Rebound knocked out of bounds, and it'll belong to UALR. Trojans bring it into the front court. Kanisha Cobbins will handle the basketball for UALR, gives it out to Galt. Galt has Gamble on her. She's inside the three-point line, gets into the paint, hangs, jumper, no. Khadijah Brown Haywood the rebound, outlet to Drea. Here come the Red Wolves into the front court. Gamble on the right wing, up top for Brown Haywood. Looking in, it's not there, so they go on the left side to Cadan. Hannah around the top of the key to the free throw line, down the paint, leaves her feet, kicks it out to Ruffins. Jamie out high is going to turn it over. Her pass went through the legs of Gamble, and it's going to be a backcourt violation. 18:24 to go, first half, still no score. Trojans have it off an A-State turnover. These fans still on their feet, waiting for the Red Wolves to get into the scoring column. UALR with it in the front court. Here's Cobbins, pass deflected and stolen by Brown Haywood. It's 1-on-4. Khadijah takes it to the bucket anyway and draws the foul. She was 1-on-4, and you heard Brian Boyer tell his team in the pregame, take it to the basket and make the officials make a call. And boy, Khadijah did it there. And Khadijah Brown Haywood is at the free throw line. Junior from Centralia, Illinois, trying to get the game's first point, and she's short on the free throw. Khadijah solid at the line, was just a hair short off the front iron. She is 72% on the season. So James, with her second foul, goes to the bench. And Khadijah, another crack at the game's first point. She hits the second free throw, and the Red Wolves lead 1-0. UALR brought Kiera Clark, a 5'11 senior forward, into the game. 2 minutes in, it's 1-0 A-State. Galt stopped on the baseline. Now they kick it out to Alexius Don. 15 on the shot clock as Kanisha Cobbins has it up high, left wing for Clark. Clark into the paint, pass batted around and then picked up by Cadan. Here comes A-State off a turnover. Gamble, right wing up top, Cadan wide open, get in there, three ball, it does, straight through for Hannah Cadan, and the Red Wolves lead 4-0 with 17:35 to go in the first half. Cobbins into the front court, guarded by Ruffins. Right wing for Galt. Galt in the left hand gets to the free throw line, cut off by Brown Haywood. Bounce pass out to Cobbins, inside they go, shot blocked, and then from way up top, a whistle and a foul against Arkansas State. It's going to go on Khadijah Brown Haywood. Her first, team's first, and it'll put UALR at the line. Kiera Clark will go to the stripe. Clark on the season, 81% at the free throw line. First one is no good. She missed the first. Second one on the way, rattled it in. UALR on the board. It's 4-1 A-State with 17:15 to go, opening half. Ruffins again to the high post for Jasmine Hunt. Lob it left wing back to Jamie. Inside, she throws it to Hunt. It was deflected, but Brown Haywood got it momentarily before it's stolen away by Cobbins. Here comes UALR off the turnover. Cobbins down the right side of the paint. This time she took it right at Jasmine Hunt and drew a foul, and she'll go to the free throw line. First on Jazz, second A-State team foul, and back to the free throw line go the Trojans. Kanisha Cobbins will shoot a pair. Cobbins gets the first one to go. She's 78% on the year, pure on the first. She can bring the Trojans within one, and she does. No field goals for UALR, but they trail only 4-3 with 16:52 to go here in the opening half. Ruffins up top for Jasmine Hunt, now swinging around left wing for Cadan. Back to the top of the key to the free throw line, lob it in the corner for Gamble. Drea to the top of the key. She'll pull up from 15 near the elbow, knock down the jumper. Drea Gamble hits her first shot of the day, or her first make, her second attempt, and the Red Wolves are on top 6-3, 16:28 to go first half. Here's Cobbins, right wing for Alexius Don, got a defender in the air and then hit a three. Don gave a head fake, got Ruffins in the air and hits a three to tie it at 6. That's the first field goal for the Trojans. 16:10 to go here in the first half. Cadan with a crossover dribble into the paint. Is going to then drop it off to Brown Haywood. It's deflected and stolen by the Trojans. Galt chases it down on the baseline to save the possession. Then it's kind of a broken play, and Don ended up wide open for three, missed it. Offensive rebound to Kiera Clark. Here's Galt in the paint, dropped it off underneath, wide open layup is good for Kiana Keys. Trojans had their first lead at 8-6, 15:40 to go here in the first half. Right corner, Ruffins with it. Dribbles out on the perimeter. 15 on the shot clock. She gives it near the baseline to Brown Haywood. Khadijah at the free throw line for Jasmine Hunt, who took it to the rim and finished with the left hand to tie it at 8. First of the day for Jasmine, and that was a confident move for the senior out of Houston. We're knotted up at 8 with 15:15 to go first half. Alexius Don stopped on her drive, shovels it off to Clark. She kicks it out to Galt, who will take a three, no good. Brown Haywood there for the rebound on the baseline. She'll give to Ruffins, who comes across into the front court. Up high for Brown Haywood. Khadijah dribbles. Threw a pass to Cadan, nearly stolen, and then Galt did pick her pocket from behind. Here's Cobbins on her way to the basket. Bounce pass to Clark. It was deflected. They missed the shot underneath. Rebound batted around and then chased down by Ruffins. So UALR misses a chance in transition. Here comes A-State. Brown Haywood, left side for Gamble, and went through her hands and out of bounds. Unforced turnover for the Red Wolves brings up the first media time. So the Trojans have it coming out of the media timeout off the A-State turnover, which was already the 5th against the Red Wolves. Brittany Gill, the junior out of Pine Bluff, is in. Here's a baseline or free throw line jumper up by Clark, no good. Gill's in there, so is Jessica Flannery, who's wide open in transition, takes the three and hits it just in time. Jessica Flannery to say she's in the game. She hits a three. Amanda Lawson, the junior from Houston, in there as well as the Red Wolves go back on top 11-8. As we approach the 14-minute mark here in the first half. Here's Don out around the top of the key, guarded by Gill. Bounce pass on the baseline to Galt. She's cut off there, back to Don. Free throw line for Clark. Drives in, draws the defender, kicks it to Cobbins. Her jumper up, no good. Jasmine Hunt yanks down the board. Here comes A-State. Gamble into the front court, down the near sideline, up top for Hunt. Jazz swings it right side to Flannery. Out high now for Lawson. They reverse it to the left wing for Gamble. Drea crosses over, gets into the paint. Floater up and good. 4.5 for Drea Gamble, and A-State leads at 13-8 with 13:23 to go in the half. Here's Alexius Don into the front court for the Trojans. Out high, she gives the pass now near the three-point line. They go up top now for Clark. Clark wanted rid of it, gave it to Galt. She takes one dribble, pulls up, and hits about a 12-footer. Taylor Galt hits her first basket. A-State leads at 13-10 as we hit the 13-minute mark here in the first half at the Convocation Center. Lawson double dribbled, they say, or actually say she did not double dribble, looked like she did. Brittany Gill got in the paint, missed a pull-up jumper. Jasmine Hunt with an offensive board and drew the foul on the way back up. She'll go to the line. Caitlin Pratt gets her first personal. That is the 4th UALR team foul. And it sends Jasmine Hunt to the free throw line. First trip to the line for the senior. Trying to build on a 3-point A-State lead with 12:47 to go here in the opening half. First one for Jazz is on the way and good. Changes to the UALR lineup. Here's Shanity James back in, and we're going to see Kiana Keys come into the ball game as well. James is going to check in here after picking up 2 early fouls. Jasmine hit the first free throw for her 3rd point. Second one is on the way. And it's wiped off on a lane violation. Now Khadijah Brown Haywood will check in replacing Jasmine. So the free throw make wiped off, and A-State leads at 14-10 with 12:47 to go in the half. Alexius Don will handle it into the front court. She was guarded by Gamble this time. Galt just inside the 3-point line, back out to Don. Now inside they go for Shanity James, and she knocked it out of bounds. Turnover, UALR will give it back to the Red Wolves. Gamble will handle it for A-State. She's being guarded by Kenesha Cobbins. Flannery has it in front of the UALR bench, up top for Brown Haywood. Now left wing it goes for Gamble. Drea uses the ball screen, crosses over to the elbow, got in the paint, forced it up, no good. Amanda Lawson with the offensive board and a stick back. First 2 of the day for the junior out of Houston, Texas. And the Red Wolves lead it now 16-10 with 12:06 to go in the half. Shanity James drives in, probably could have taken the shot, dropped it off. Now takes it back on the baseline, kicks it out to Cobbins. 10 on the shot clock as Cobbins gives it at the free throw line to Galt. Pull up from 14, she knocked it down. Taylor Galt got open. They hit her and she hit the shot. It's 16-12 Red Wolves, 11:40 to go here in the first half. Gamble dribbles out on the perimeter, and Lawson just with the easiest call of the night. Between the circles, guarded by Gamble. Gives it up high to Cobbins. Cobbins holds outside the top of the key, now back to Don. 15 on the shot clock. Don nearly got her pocket picked by Gamble. Drea's able to get back in front of her. And then there's a ball that Brittany Gill went diving for a steal, came up empty, collided with Taylor Galt. Brittany picks up her first personal. Team fouls are even at 4 apiece. ULR gets a full shot clock in the front court. 11-11 to play here in the first half. Cobbins has it out on the perimeter, gets inside the free throw line, kicks it out to Galt. Galt gets in the paint, hangs, misses, got her own rebound, stick back, no, and then Lawson is there for the board. Here's Gamble with it in the front court, 10:52 to go first half. 4-point Red Wolves lead. Gill out high to Brown Haywood. Khadijah threw a pass, she thought Gamble was cutting baseline. Drea then stopped cutting, and the pass went out of bounds. Turnover for the Red Wolves. Already their 7th, and UALR has it down 16-12 with 12:35 to go in the half. Galt with a crossover, gets to the basket, misses. Gill had the rebound knocked away from her. Underneath the bucket, missed. Tip is up off the mark. Alexius Don has it. She sticks it up, no good. And then Brittany Gill is able to get the paint, get the board as Little Rock missed 4 chip shots. Underneath, they lost Lawson, and she gets the layup. A-State leads at 18-12 as we approach the midway point here in the first half. Kenesha Cobbins into the front court. Got a step on Gill, got into the paint, dropped the pass off. They blew another layup. Offensive board, and the putback this time is there for Kiana Keys. Cleaned up the mess from Shanity James, who's been a victim of about 3 missed layups the last 2 trips down the floor. Back to a 4-point A-State lead. Here's Gamble. Got a step on the defender, drew the foul on the drive, and that's going to be on Cobbins, her second. Kenesha Cobbins' second, UALR's 5th. Jasmine Hunt will check in for Lawson. Meanwhile, Kiana Keys sits down for UALR as Kiera Clark is back into the game. We're going to see Caitlin Pratt check in here. She's going to replace, I would imagine, Cobbins. It is. Kenesha Cobbins sits down with 2 fouls. A-State has it underneath. Comes in the left corner to Gill. Brittany looking in at Jasmine Hunt. It's not there. She now spins just outside the paint. Lobs it out to Khadijah Brown-Haywood up top. Khadijah with a dribble. Right side for Cadan on the perimeter. Hannah gets to the free throw line, into the paint, kicks it to Gill. 12 on the shot clock. Gill throws it inside to Jasmine Hunt. It was knocked away, and now chased down on the baseline by Taylor Galt. Here come the Trojans with 9:15 to go in the half, trailing by 4. Out high, Kiera Clark just dribbles the basketball. 15 on the shot clock. Now she puts it on the floor, and it's going to be a whistle and a foul called against Hannah Cadan. Hannah's first, team's 5th. And not a real popular call, and with very good reason. Just under 9 to go in the half, 4-point A-State lead. Pratt, guarded by Jasmine Hunt. She puts it on the floor, is cut off on the dribble. Still looking for help. Lobs it out to Galt with 15 on the shot clock. Galt wants to go to work on Gamble. Got a crossover, got into the paint, hangs and hits. Tough move by Taylor Galt. Got to the rim for her 6th point of the half. And the A-State lead is 2, 18-16 with 8:30 to go before the break. Brittany Gill gives it out high to Brown-Haywood. Khadijah on the perimeter, left side for Gamble. Back out between the circles for Cadan. 10 on the shot clock. Here's Gamble on the left wing with 9 on the clock. Drea got by everybody into the paint. Kind of got pushed up under the rim. The shot was too strong, and the rebound to UALR. Galt gets into the paint, drops it off underneath to a wide open Caitlin Pratt, who ties the game at 18. They never stopped the ball, and then Jasmine Hunt came with the help, and an easy assist for Galt, and we're knotted up at 18 with 7:50 to go in the half. Trojans have scored the last 6. Brittany Gill, guarded by Alexius Don, gets into the paint, hangs and hits just outside the painted area. First for the junior from Pine Bluff. A-State back on top, 20-18 with 7:30 to go in the half. Alexius Don, pass knocked away, stolen by Khadijah Brown-Haywood, who's all alone and gets the layup. And Joe Foley grabs the timeout. The Red Wolves get 4 quick ones to go back on top. We will take the timeout with them. 7 minutes, 21 seconds to play in the first half of the convo. Just meant fueled by A-State turnovers. Red Wolves went with a little pressure coming out of the timeout. Trojans got it into the front court. Alexius Don at the free throw line throws a pass that's knocked away and stolen by A-State. Gamble will push it into the front court. Drea to the three-point line, left corner. Cadan is open. She'll take a 3 and hit it. Hannah Cadan hit a 3. UALR was a man down because they had a player who had slipped in the backcourt. Red Wolves with a power play three-pointer from the corner lead at 25-18. They've scored the last 7 to lead by 7. 6:45 to go first half. In the front court, Cobbins gives it left wing to Galt. Galt with a crossover trying to work on Gamble. Now fires it to the far side. Inside they go, missing underneath. Too strong was Shanity James, and A-State has the board. Gamble into the front court. Up high for Jasmine Hunt. Throw it in the paint to Amanda Lawson, who turns and scores underneath. Lawson has 6. The Red Wolves go high-low, and they lead at 27-18. Quickly to the other end, getting to the rim and scoring with a foul is Kenesha Cobbins. to silence the crowd and stop that 9-0 A-State run. Foul on Jasmine Hunt is her second, team's sixth. Cobbins with her first field goal, her fourth point. She's 2 for 2 at the line. So Jasmine will sit down here as Khadijah Brown-Haywood checks in. Cobbins will try to complete the three-point play. The Red Wolves had briefly taken a 9-point lead, but this and one opportunity stops the run. Free throw is good, and it's 27-21 A-State with 6:15 to go in the half. Ruffins will bring it into the front court. Gives it up top to Gamble around a Lawson screen. She takes a bump, which forced her to go too strong off the glass, and UALR has the rebound. Again, that's what to do. They're just going to bump into you, get you off balance, and if you don't get the call, you're going to miss the shot. On the other end, UALR gets another and one opportunity. The crowd is having a fit, wanting a travel call, and instead it's an and one. Khadijah Brown-Haywood picks up her second, the team's second. It's Cobbins again with a second straight and one opportunity. Brian Boyer wanted an explanation. So are a bunch of people behind him. Cobbins hits the free throw again. She scores 6 unanswered on back-to-back three-point plays, and just like that, the Trojans answer to get back within 3, 27-24. Cadan out to Lawson. Right side on the perimeter for Gamble. Puts it on the floor, goes baseline. And boy, these officials are going crazy now. A whistle and an offensive foul against Gamble. And that gives this Convocation Center crowd another reason to hoop and holler at the officials. And you can hear what they think about it. First on Gamble, 8th on A-State. 4 of the last 5 foul calls have gone against the Red Wolves in this one. Cobbins. Underneath, she dropped it off to Shanity James, who got a layup, and Brian Boyer wants a timeout because UALR has answered a 9-0 run with 8 straight of its own. Convo's mad at the officials. Brian Boyer's mad at his defense, and everybody but UALR's mad right now. 5:22 to go in the half. And that 9-point A-State lead is quickly down to 1, 27-26. They got back-to-back and ones from Cobbins, and then a bucket from James, who finally hit a layup. And the Trojans, so far, these two teams have just traded runs here in this first half. Maybe it's time for A-State to go on another one. Red Wolves led by 6. UALR scored 6 straight to tie it. A-State scored 9 straight to take the lead, and now the Trojans have the game's last 8 to get within 1, 27-26. Brian Boyer grabbed a timeout here, 5:20 to go in the half. Gamble flips it to Gill, up top for Lawson. Left side on the perimeter, Cadan near the corner for Gamble. Wants a ball screen, instead goes behind the back near the baseline, backs out with the dribble. Gamble picks up the dribble now, needs help, throws a bounce pass inside to Brittany Gill, who catches, misses underneath. Rebound to UALR. Cobbins will bring it into the front court. Under 5 to go in the half, and now the officials are hearing about it from this Convo crowd at every turn. They thought Gill was fouled. And A-State hasn't had the calls go its way the last few minutes. Clark out on the perimeter, tries to get to the rim, throws it up too strong, and Brown-Haywood snags the board. She gives to Drea into the front court. Gamble comes, 4:31 to go in the half. Inside, they're looking for Lawson. Boy, she got pushed in the back, and out of bounds it goes. And again, here comes that crowd on their feet. Lawson got shoved right between the ones on the back of her jersey, and the pass went out of bounds. UALR has it back off the turnover. That was actually a foul that actually wasn't called. Clark up top for James. James down the paint between defenders, had it stripped, and it'll stay with the Trojans underneath. 13 on the shot clock, 4:12 to go first half. A-State leads at 27-26. Kiera Clark goes inside. The ball is loose. It's now tied up. It'll stay with the Trojans as Amanda Lawson hit the floor and tied it up. Alternating possession will keep it with UALR with 9 on the shot clock. 4:07 to go first half. So this crowd will just keep getting bigger as we go here. More folks get off work and make their way here for the second half of this one in the men's game. That's just more people to come and get mad at the officials right now. Galt catches the inbounds, got Gamble in the air, missed the jumper. And another foul on Arkansas State. They nearly shot an air ball, and there's a whistle away from the ball against A-State. And again, the crowd is wound up. Lawson has her second, team's ninth. The team fouls at one time were even at 4 apiece, and now it's 9-5. A-State's had 5 of the last 6 fouls called against the Red Wolves. They missed the front end of the 1-and-1. Keys missed it, and the rebound knocked out of bounds to A-State. So Brian Boyer's going to go with Lauren Bradshaw here, the freshman out of Mesquite, Texas, as Lawson and Jasmine Hunt have each picked up 2 fouls. The reigning Sunbelt Coach of the Year looking for anybody in stripes to give an earful to right now. A-State leads by 1, but the the Trojans have scored the game's last 8 points. Just under 4 to go in the half. Here's Gill, top of the key. Picks up a ball screen, gives it out high to Brown Haywood. In the paint for Bradshaw. Dribbles toward the rim. Shot up no good. Cadan the board, and she's fouled on the way up. And she'll go to the free throw line and listen to the crowd. Kiera Clark with the foul. Her first, team's 6th. Centennial Bank is proud to support Red Wolves basketball. Centennial Bank, Arkansas's community bank. Hannah Cadan at the free throw line coming out of this under 4-minute media timeout. First trip to the line for the senior out of Farmington, Arkansas. Trying to stop that 8-0 UALR run, and she missed the first free throw. Hannah's hit 2 3-pointers, but missed her first free throw of the day. Go figure. Second one is up. She swishes that one for her 7th point. And it's 28-26 A-State. First point for the Red Wolves in 2 minutes and 41 seconds. Stops that spurt for UALR, pushes the lead to 2. Kenesha Cobbins gives it to Clark. Back to Cobbins on the perimeter. Inside the paint, Galt left her feet, dropped it underneath, missing another layup inside, but getting the board and sticking it up and in was Kiana Keys. We're tied at 28 with 3:20 to go as the Red Wolves give up an offensive rebound. 3:15 to go in the half. Gill, top of the key, gives it out to Gamble. Drea, one dribble up top for Brown Haywood, throw it in the paint to Bradshaw. Pass went between Lauren's legs, and UALR is able to collect it on the baseline. Another A-State turnover, this one of the unforced variety. Under 3 to go in the half. Getting into the paint, missing underneath. Shanity James throws it toward the rim, no good. Keys came flying in for the putback. The Trojans are on a 12-1 run, and they lead it now 30-28. Here's Gill, spinning into the paint, hanging. Boy, she got hit, no call. Rebound is loose into the hands of Gamble at the free throw line. Inside, she finds Gill under the rim, and Brittany scores to tie the game at 30 with 2:28 to go in the half. Kenesha Cobbins dribbles between the circles. A-State goes zone this time. Here's Shanity James up top. Lob it to Galt on the baseline. She leaves her feet and throws it to Brittany Gill. Here comes A-State off the turnover. Numbers aren't there. Gill gives it to Gamble. 2 minutes to go in the half. We're tied at 30. Drea comes back between the circles to set up a play call from the A-State bench. Gamble took a bump, no call. Woo. Now leaves her feet, gives it to Brown Haywood. Khadijah will take a 3, in and out, and then back in. Khadijah Brown Haywood got a members bounce from the top of the key, and A-State leads 33-30 with 1:38 to go in the half. Cobbins into the front court, over to Galt. Back to Cobbins. Back to Galt at the free throw line, jump stop, and she's going to be called for a travel. Too much of a jump stop. Turn it over to A-State with 1:27 to go in the half, and the Red Wolves a chance to build on a 33-30 lead. Here's Alexius Don back into the Trojan lineup. She's going to replace Cobbins. The UALR will send Caitlin Pratt back into the game here to get Kiana Keys. Jessica Flannery is going to come into the game here she's going to replace Khadijah Brown Haywood. So both coaches doing some jockeying to get players with 2 fouls out of the lineup here in the final minute and a half of this first stanza. 3-point A-State lead. Gamble in the front court, 1:20 to go before the break. Gives it out high to Flannery, swing it right side to Cadan. Hannah goes away from the ball screen, got to the baseline, is cut off, gives it out to Bradshaw. Quickly over to Flannery, left wing for Gamble. 10 on the shot clock. Drea clears out a little traffic, gets to the free throw line, step back, pull up jumper. No good. Rebound pulled down by Kiana Keys. Under a minute to go in the half, 3-point A-State lead. Alexius Don, bounce pass over to Keys. She pulls up over a couple of defenders and knocked down a line drive jumper. She has 10 first half points. A-State leads it by 1. And Brian Boyer has to burn a timeout. A-State turned and ran away from the inbounds play. And so he has to waste a second timeout, and I mean waste. Everybody turned and went the other way, and the inbounder was standing there all alone. 42 seconds to go in the half. Red Wolves will inbound it, leading 33-32, but they'll be short one timeout in the second half. A couple in-game numbers brought to you by AT&T. UALR outscoring A-State 20-14 in the paint. Red Wolves have turned it over 11 times. UALR has only scored 10 points off the turnovers. 7 turnovers for the Trojans, 14 points off the turnovers. A very efficient use of those turnovers for A-State. Second chance points, not as bad as you would think, only 8-6 in favor of the Trojans. It seemed like they got about 20 second chance points. Gamble into the front court. Dribbles on the perimeter left side. 30 seconds to go in the half. Drea picks up a screen near the top of the key. 13 on the shot clock. She backs out, wants another ball screen. Bradshaw sets it. 10 on the clock. Left corner it goes to Cadan. Hannah goes baseline, pulls up just outside the paint, hits a little jumper. 9 first half points for Hannah Cadan. 3-point lead for A-State. Little Rock not in any big hurry. They get it into the front court with 5 seconds to go. Here's Galt getting into the paint. Jump stop, reverse layup at the horn is up and good for Kiera Clark. And boy, A-State has gotten really good at giving up buckets at the first half horn, which sends Brian Boyer into the locker room in not a real good mood, although his team does have the slightest of leads at the intermission. 20 minutes in the books, and it's just what you think it would be from these two rivals. Arkansas State leads UALR 35-34 at the half. In fact, it's only the 5th time they've trailed at the half at all this season. Gamble with it on the baseline for Brown Haywood. Red Wolves got it first to start the second half. They go in the paint to Jasmine Hunt. Rebound batted out of bounds, and it was last touched by UALR. So the Red Wolves will get it back. 35-34 to start the second half. Red Wolves had the basketball. They have their starting 5 out there. At the free throw line, Brown Haywood got it knocked away and stolen from behind by Alexius Don. Don feeds Galt, who traveled. Holy cow! Walked 8 feet, and the official called it some kind of juggle. Worst call of the night, and Little Rock will cash it in with a layup on the other end. You're not going to get an easier travel call in your career than that one, and they choked on it, but the Trojans make it count to take a 36-35 lead. She walked 6 feet. Here's A-State on the other end. Ruffins, top of the key. See, the Red Bulls just bounce back. The crowd wanted a reason to get wound up in the second half anyway, and Gamble says, that's all right, I'll hit a 3 on the other end. Drea from the right wing puts A-State back on top, 38-36. So they just want to make sure the crowd was ready for the second half. They got a chance to get all keyed up early. Galt, bounce pass, inside for Keys, up top to Don, 9 on the shot clock. Don dribbles out high. This time they didn't get a defender in the air. Here's a free throw line jumper up, no good. Way strong off the glass by Keys. It just barely got a piece of the iron. Coming back, and Trojans are able to get an offensive rebound and a new shot clock. Another wild shot underneath is an air ball out of bounds. This one by Cobbins, who was not even square to the basket, left her feet and sort of shot it over her shoulder out of bounds, and it's going to belong to A-State, and the Trojans have a player down. Let's see, is that Kiana Keys down on the baseline, trying to fly in for another offensive rebound, hit the deck. Their athletic trainer out to check on Keys, who's on her feet, doubled over on the baseline. They're going to send Kiera Clark. Let's see, Caitlin Pratt check that back into the game. Kiana Keys able to walk back to the UALR bench on her own power. No assistance, that's a good sign. 18-19 to go, second half. A-State has the ball in a 38-36 lead. Ruffins into the front court. Gets to the free throw line, spins back to her right. They're trying to post up Gamble. Go out to Khadijah Brown Haywood, and there's a hold inside against UALR. It's the second on Caitlin Pratt, the first foul of the half on UALR. A-State will inbound underneath, 18:07 to play. Cadan, short pass inside to Jasmine Hunt, who missed underneath. Ooh, gosh almighty, need to finish that. Got exactly what they wanted on the inbounds and didn't finish. Now here's Don at the free throw line. She backs up top of the key, threw a bounce pass in the crowd, took it back, sidesteps the defender, short on the three-point attempt, rebound A-State. Ruffins to the right side, three-point line. 17:40 to go, A-State up by 2. Ruffins gets a step on the defender, forced up a shot right into the arms of Shanity James. Then UALR turned it over, trying to throw an outlet pass ahead of the pack. Red Wolves get it right back off the turnover. Here's Jamie around the ball screen up top for Brown Haywood. Khadijah, bounce pass inside. Jasmine Hunt able to collect it. She turns and scores in the paint. Well, Jasmine Hunt makes the tough catches and finishes. She has 5, and the Red Wolves lead it 40-36 with 17:06 to go, second half. Galt out on the perimeter, goes inside. Shot up, no good. Shanity James missed again. A-State the board. Brown Haywood, left side to Gamble. Drea puts it on the floor, got into the paint, now dribbles out of a crowd. And A-State will set up on offense. Here's Drea, bumped by Galt, and there's a whistle and a foul. It's going to be the first on Taylor Galt. Second UALR team foul. Brittany Gill's going to check into the A-State lineup here, replacing Jamie Ruffins. 16:45 to go, second half. A-State with the ball in the front court, leading 40-36. Inbounds between the circles to Brittany Gill. Now Gamble comes to the basketball. Drea on the right wing for Gill. She's got Alexius Don on her. Brittany to the free throw line. Boy, got bumped into by Don, who stuck in there and got the steal. Don feeds it ahead to Kenesha Cobbins, who had her shot blocked by Khadijah Brown Haywood, but there's a whistle and a foul. Third on Khadijah, first A-State team foul, and Kenesha Cobbins back to the free throw line. She was 4 out of 4 at the line in the first half, and now she's 5 out of 5. Amanda Lawson's going to check in here, replacing Brown Haywood, who sits down with the 3 fouls. Cobbins looking for her 10th point, 6 of them at the line if she gets it, and she does. And the A-State lead is 2, 40-38, 16:25 to go here at the Convo. Gamble will handle the basketball for A-State, dribbles between the circles as they set up offensively. Now drifts to the left side, up top for Gill. Brittany, one dribble, picks it up, out to Lawson. Lawson threw a pass, deflected. Gamble's able to get it, turns, missed off the glass. Rebound to UALR. Cobbins in the corner for Shanity James. James dribbles around. Cobbins gets out back in the middle of the floor. 15:50 to go, 2-point A-State lead. Here's Cobbins, left side for Galt. Galt gets around Gamble. Left her feet, kicked it out to Don, wide open for 3, too long. Backside rebound to James. She throws it way out high to Cobbins, and they'll reset offensively. Cobbins in the paint, left her feet, ball batted around and into the hands of Amanda Lawson. Here comes A-State off the turnover. Gamble ahead to Cadan near the sideline by the A-State bench. Hannah puts it on the floor, goes baseline. Wheels, gives it out to Lawson. She gets into the paint, to the rim, and scores. 8 points for Amanda Lawson, her first of the second half. And A-State leads at 42-38 as we approach the 15-minute mark here in this second half. Cobbins over to Don. Don in the paint. Takes it out now on the perimeter, fires the three and hits it. Alexius Dunn has 6 points on a couple of three-pointers, and the A-State lead is 42-41 with 14:45 to go. Gamble between the circles for Gill. Short pass to Lawson. Lawson bounce pass to Gamble. They came diving around Drea and got the steal. In a foot race, here's Cobbin missing the layup, but she's fouled by Lawson. For Amanda, that's going to be her third personal, second A-State team foul. It's going to bring the media timeout. 14:30 to go in the second half of the convo. So far, she's a perfect 6 for 6. First one on the way and swished it again to tie the game. So she now has shot more free throws than A-State has in this ball game. Second one, up and good again. She's 8 out of 8 from the line, has 12 points. And UALR with its first lead of the second half, 43-42. 14:25 to play. Gill out high to Lawson. Now left side, they swing it to Gamble. Drea puts it in her right hand, gets into the paint, hangs and hits with a foul. That one crawled over the front iron and it will count. She'll have a three-point play try. Third on Cobbins, third team foul on UALR. And here is Drea at the line trying to get a three-point play as she has put A-State back on top. Hits the free throw, her first of the ball game. And it's 45-43 Red Wolves, 14:10 to go in the second half. Alexius Dunn working on Brittany Gill, backs out between the circles. Fires it left side to Galt. Galt goes baseline, pulls up, jumper, no. Rebound, Jasmine Hunt couldn't collect it, and Shanity James is there to clean it up. You have to grab a board. A-State gave away two basically right there. Joe Foley is working on the official, and I don't know why. His players just come flying over the top of the A-State rebounders every missed shot. For some reason he's wanting to call down there, and I don't know exactly what it could be. Gill at the free throw line, spins in the paint, hangs short, got her own rebound, sticks it up and in. Brittany Gill sticks with it, gets her 6th point of the night. A-State leads at 47-45, 13:25 to go. This Trojans just come flying in to attack those offensive boards. It's helped them to the tune of, well, it's still just officially 8 second chance points, although that more or less was that last bucket. Didn't go down as that. 6 on the shot clock. Here's Alexius Dunn. She's going to take a step back three over everything, off the glass into the hands of Gamble. Drea pushes ahead, stutter steps, kicks it to Cadan. She gets into the paint and it has her shot blocked by Galt. Gets it back off the front iron. No, Drea Gamble. Oh, me. Gamble came in clean as a whistle and got called for over the back. Brian Boyer is throwing a fit, and he is 100% within his right to. Gamble with a ghost foul for her second, third on A-State, and the crowd is back into it again. Still a 2-point Red Wolves lead, 12:40 to go. Holy moly. James, top of the key, feeds it out to Galt. Now here's Don with it. 12 on the shot clock. Don directs a little traffic out high with the dribble. And there's a little bit of a makeup offensive foul inside away from the ball against UALR. It's on Shanity James, her third, team's fourth. Here's Jessica Flannery and Jamie Ruffins both back into the lineup. Brittany Gill's going to sit down, and I believe, let's see, Cadan was. I'm going to see if Gamble would right here before the timeout, but Cadan will sit down and Drea stays out there. 47-45 Red Wolves with 12:23 to go. Ruffins dribbles to the right wing now near the corner. Comes back out Gives it to Flannery. Just got in the paint, had it knocked away. Ball is loose, batted out to midcourt for Ruffins. Now here's Gamble with 12 on the shot clock. Drea faces the basket with 10. Now puts it on the floor with 8. Gamble to the free throw line. And she's going to be fouled by Alexius Dunn with a pretty ill-advised reach-in with 5 on the shot clock. Alexius Dunn's first personal. It's the 5th UALR team foul, and sometimes she just got a little bit aggressive with the reach-in, and A-State was kind of in a scramble mode late in the shot clock. Foul gives the Red Wolves a full 30 seconds with exactly 12 minutes to go. Flannery on the baseline to get to Gamble, slipped between defenders and scored off the glass. Drea's got 8 in the second half, 12 in the game, and the A-State lead is 49-45 with 11:50 to play. Don out on the perimeter, guarded by Ruffins. Gives it up top to Keys. Now up top it goes to Cobbins. 13 on the shot clock as Cobbins dribbles. Short pass to Galt just inside the three-point line, and UALR is going to turn it over. Galt's pass too tall and behind. UALR has had a 1-point lead briefly since the intermission. Khadijah Brown-Haywood back in the game, flips it to Brittany Gill to the top of the key. Gill fires it underneath to Jasmine Hunt, who is wide open and scores. 7 in the game for Jasmine Hunt. A-State leads at 51-45. Convo percolating here with 11:11 to play. See if Red Wolves can get a run, a stop and start a run. Taylor Galt, top of the key, pull-up jumper short. Offensive board blocked by Hannah Cadan. She got it at the block of Cobbins, and A-State comes away with it. Under 11 to play. Red Wolves with a chance to build on a 6-point lead. Gill gets baseline, stops and scores off the glass as it rolled through off the back iron. 8 for Brittany Gill. Brian Boyer's up, getting the convo on its feet, and it's working. Joe Foley wants to talk it over. The Trojans grab a timeout. Woo, Brian Boyer, the biggest cheerleader in the convo right now. His team leads at 53-45. Are we able to take a break here? Let's try it and find out. 10:43 to go. A-State leads it 53-45. This is Arkansas State basketball on the EAB Red Wolves Sports Network. All right, so it's like a broadcast on PBS here for you folks today. 10:43 to play, and the Red Wolves lead it now by the count of 53-45. As A-State has scored 6 unanswered to push this lead to the largest of the second half. And Joe Foley had seen enough that he knew that this Convocation Center crowd was getting worked up, largely at the prodding of head coach Brian Boyer, who was up getting them on their feet. They were answering the call, and the UALR bench said, enough of that. Let's talk things over here with 10:43 to go. Trojans out of the huddle. Here comes A-State. Cadan, Hunt, Gamble, Brown-Haywood, and Brittany Gill. In the front court, the Trojans will inbound it just in the timeline. In fact, Alexius Don stepped to the other side and took it just in the backcourt. She's across now. 10:38 to go. See if this defense can get another stop here. Shanity James. Over to Cobbins. 10 on the shot clock. Cobbins gives it on the right side. There's a near steal by Gill, but Cobbins is able to get it on the baseline. Jumper rattles in and out, and it hung on the rim too long. Shanity James was able to finish it because Brittany Gill was there for the rebound, but mistimed her jump as it hung on the rim one extra bounce. That stops the run. The A-State lead is 6, 53-47. Here's Gamble near the left corner. Pulls up by the elbow, rattles home the jumper. Midway through the second half, Drea Gamble has pushed the lead back to 8. It's 55-47. Drea with 10 in the second half, 14 on the day. Here's Clark dribbling out between the circles. Once rid of the basketball, flips it to Cobbins. On the baseline, Keys has it. They swing it far corner. Don's open for three and hit it from the corner with 5 on the shot clock. A huge shot for Alexius Don to trim the A-State lead to 5, 55-50, 9:23 to go. Gamble got by 2 defenders, switched hands, got to the rim and finished. 57-50 on another Gamble basket. And now Joe Foley wants another timeout. This one a 30-second break, as the message here is 24 is pretty good if you don't mind getting in front of her. Gamble had 4 points in the first half, and the player of the year already with a dozen in the second half, 16 on the day for Drea. And the A-State lead is 7, 57-50, as Joe Foley grabs another timeout here. He's left with 2. A-State has 3 timeouts remaining with 9 minutes and 10 seconds to play here in the ball game at the Convocation Center. Scoring leaders brought to you by Ritter Communications, right by you. Gamble now is the A-State scoring leader with her 16 points on the day. UALR led by Cobbins with a dozen. UALR ball in the front court as we approach the 9-minute mark. The give is to Don. Back over to Cobbins on the baseline now. Cobbins takes it back on the right wing. 10 on the shot clock. A-State still in that zone defense. Clark, bounce pass over to Cobbins with 5 on the baseline. Here's Keys, jumper, no. Rebound batted by Lawson over to Gamble. Drea into the front court. Gets to the three-point line, over to an open Brittany Gill. Pull up on the baseline, short. Rebound, Lawson saves it in play to Drea Gamble. Hustle play by Lawson, gets A-State a new shot clock. 8:30 to go, 7-point Red Wolves lead. Gamble directing some traffic, looking over to Brian Boyer, gives it to Gill on the left side. Brittany around the top of the key. Picks up the dribble, throws it out to Lawson. Amanda faked right, went left, shoveled it over to Jasmine Hunt, who collects it. Shot up, no good. Rebound to Gill, who sticks it up and in. The Red Wolves getting on the offensive boards, and they've matched their largest lead of the day. It's 59-50 as we hit 8 minutes to go at the Convo. Cobbins up top for Clark. Back to Cobbins on the baseline for Shanity James. James over to Alexis Don. 10 on the clock. 8 on the clock. Here's Clark. Back to Cobbins, over to Don. Goes baseline with 2 on the clock. They're not going to get a shot off. Yes, they are. They hit it at the horn. Kenesha Cobbins' prayer is answered. The crowd wanted that to be after the buzzer. Brian Boyer, I think, is asking them to have a look. They're shaking their head no. And the A-State lead is 7. I didn't think they had a chance to get a shot off. In the paint, Jasmine Hunt with the left hand, no, but she's fouled and will go to the line after what should be a media timeout. Kiana Keys' first personal, 6th Trojan team foul, and there's a timeout on the floor. 7:17 to play at the Convo. A-State leads at 59-52. Jasmine Hunt will be at the free throw line coming out of this under 8-minute media timeout. Jasmine 7 points on the day. And she'll shoot 2 free throws here coming out of the break. 1 out of 2 at the line on the ball game. First one this time is up and no good. Jasmine now 1 for 3 at the line. Trying to bump that lead up to 8 with 7:17 to play. Second free throw, rattled in and out. Missed them both. Don't want to do that. The lead stays at 7 with 7:12 to go. Cobbins handles it into the front court for A-State. Gill knocked it away momentarily. Cobbins now with a crossover, missed underneath. Shanity James, an offensive rebound and a putback. She has 8. Brian Boyer not happy his defense didn't seal the deal there with a rebound. The lead down to 5, 6:50 to go. Gamble over to Cadan. Inside for Jasmine Hunt, who missed the layup. Jazz, oh me, was wide open as they went in front of her. Oh gosh, she's missed 2 free throws and a layup the last 2 trips down. Let's see if the defense can get that one back with 6:31 to play. And they do, because Little Rock turned it over without the help of the A-State defense. Kiera Clark threw it off the hands. In fact, jammed the finger of Taylor Galt out of bounds. So the lead stays at 5 with 6:29 to play. A-State looking for a bucket here to push the lead back to 3 scores. Gamble. Out on the perimeter left side. Still out on the perimeter left side. 15 on the shot clock. Puts it on the floor. Drea gets into the paint, kicks it in the corner. Cadan's open for 3. Hit it again! Hannah Cadan with her 3rd 3 of the game. And the Red Wolves on top 62-54 with 6 minutes to go. Shanity James, top of the key. Out they go to Galt. Galt step back 3, hit it. Swish for Taylor Galt on a step back 3, the lead right back to 5. Here's Gamble with 5:33 to play. Gives it to Gill. Brittany at the free throw line. Kicks it out to Cadan. Hannah spins into the paint, takes a bump and scores with a foul. It'll count, and Hannah Cadan has a 3-point play chance. As that foul is on Kiera Clark, her 2nd, 7th UALR team foul. Cadan hits the off-balance shot as she was actually switched to the left hand after drawing the contact, and she has a 3-point play opportunity. Free throw good. 6 straight A-State points for Hannah Cadan, and the Red Wolves lead it 65-57 with 5:21 to go. Galt lob it in the far corner, left side for Clark. She dribbles out. Pass it across to Cobbins. 13 on the shot clock, 5:08 to go. Free throw line jumper, in and out. They were holding Jasmine Hunt, but the rebound came out to Lawson. Lawson carried the basketball. Dribble got over her shoulder, and A-State, trying to get in transition, turned it over with an even 5 minutes to go. Here's UALR down 8 into the front court. Again, A-State sticking with that zone. Here's Cobbins. Dribbling out on the perimeter. Fires it in the corner to Galt. She'll take another 3 and hit it. 2 threes in a row for Taylor Galt. The lead down to 5 again, 65-60 with 4:38 to go. See if the Red Wolves have another answer here. Lawson. Dribble handoff to Brittany Gill. To the top of the key, back to Lawson with a head fake. Puts it on the floor, kicks it to Cadan. 13 on the shot clock. Hannah gets into the paint. Lobs it on the baseline for Gill. Pooh pulls up. Jumper, no. Whistle and a foul against Arkansas State. A late charge call against Brittany Gill. Her 2nd, 4th foul of the half against A-State. 4:17 to go. Here's Khadijah Brown Haywood back into the A-State lineup. She will replace Amanda Lawson. Khadijah's battling an ankle sprain, and a pretty good one that she suffered very early in the game at Troy Saturday. Played through that one, has been getting some treatment. 4:15 to go, A-State leads by 5. Come on, defense, get a stop here. Cobbins out to Galt. Galt will take a 3 over Gamble and hit it again. That one was right in Drea's face. And she has hit 3 straight threes here to get UALR back within 2 as we go under 4 minutes to play. Galt had been quiet until then, and now she's got 15. As the Trojans have hit 4 of their last 5. 3 of those 3-pointers from Galt. Gamble will try a 3 for the answer. It's off the back iron, but she was fouled. She'll get 3 free throws after the final media timeout, as the foul on Galt is her 2nd. Here she is for 3 with 3:40 to play. The first one is on the way, and it rattled in. The 2nd for the Sunbelt Player of the Year is up and straight through. Trying to make it a 2-possession game here. Looking for her 19th point of the game, 15th of the second half. And she got them all. 68-63 A-State, 3:40 to go. Cobbins into the front court. See if this defense can seal the deal here coming down the stretch, as it did at Troy the other night. They force a turnover as they got Caitlin Pratt in a trap on the sideline, and UALR dribbled it out of bounds. Here's A-State up 5 with 3:25 to go. See if they can cash in on the turnover, which was the 13th of the game against the Trojans. Gill, top of the key. Kicks it out to Lawson. Bounce pass inside to Hunt, right back to Lawson, and they're going to call her for a travel. Just going too fast. The Red Wolves turned it right back over for the 18th time. 5-point Arkansas State lead as we close in on the 3-minute mark. Galt got open for 3. This one off the back iron, and James is going to get the rebound. And even though they say she was being held by Hannah Cadan, so probably took away a layup. And now Little Rock has to inbound it with 3:01 to go. Galt catches the inbounds pass on the right wing, puts it on the floor, gets into the paint, drops it off underneath. Drew the defenders, and Caitlin Pratt got the layup off the assist from Galt. 68-65 A-State, 2:48 to go. Answering a bucket would be huge for the Red Wolves here. We're down the stretch. Gill on a backdoor cut, throws it to Gamble, and it was deflected by UALR. The officials want to talk it over and confer on who touched it last. It's going to stay with A-State. Joe Foley's not happy, and I'm not sure I blame him. And if they go to the monitor, one official's at the scorer's table. Now, they wouldn't look at the shot clock violation earlier in the game. Brian Boyer wants to know why one official's at the scorer's table and the other two are huddled up. So they just step further away from Brian Boyer. As it stands, it's A-State basketball with 2:37 to go, leading by 3. And that was off a Gamble. And now they're going to look at this one. UALR will end up with the basketball. Folks, this review won't take very long. Brian Boyer telling the fans behind the bench it's okay. Oh, no, they're not looking at the possession. They're looking at the shot clock. Oh, me. A-State. That's why Brian Boyer told the fans it's okay. Because they weren't looking for the possession. They were looking at the shot clock, which was at 15. So A-State is going to catch a break here. Now make the most of it with 15 on the shot clock and 2:37 to go. Cadan throws it into Gamble near the left side. Inside she goes to Lawson. Oh, and they have flopped and got a call. And Amanda Lawson picks up her 4th. As UALR got the flop, and now with 2:34 to go, they'll have the ball still down by 3. Good job there by, I believe it was Shanity James, who got the foul call on Lawson. Still a 3-point Red Wolves lead. Inside, shot up, no good. Rebound batted into the hands of Cadan. 2:15 to go. Huge time for a bucket with A-State a chance to build on a 3-point lead. Crowd coming alive here. Gamble over to Cadan. Hannah picks up a screen, gets to the free throw line, kicks it to Gill. Brittany down the left side, gives it out to Lawson. Her long jumper, no good. Gamble battling for the board, but was taken down by Cobbins, under 2 to play. Here's Cobbins into the paint, kicks it on the baseline. Jumper, in and out. Rebound, Shanity James, and she's tied up. Alternating possession will keep it with the Trojans. 1:47 to play. 3-point A-State lead, 68-65. And UALR have it underneath full shot clock. Comes into Galt. She slipped between defenders, missed the shot, and there's an over-the-back call on Jasmine Hunt. Boy, it looked like Galt nearly traveled. As Jasmine picks up her 3rd personal, 7th Red Wolves team foul. 1-1 for UALR. with 1:41 to go. And Caitlin Pratt, the sophomore, at the line for the first time today. Trailing by 3. Front end on the way. Got a huge bounce off the back iron and came back through the net. She can bring the Trojans back within 1. Everybody was ready to rebound that one because it looked like a surefire miss. Second one is up. She does miss it. Rebound to Lawson. A-State up 2. Really needing a bucket here. 95 seconds to play. Probably the biggest offensive possession of the game. And Brian Boyer avoids a turnover by calling a timeout. A-State careless with the ball through a pass between the legs of Lawson, I believe. Brittany Gill hit the floor to save it, and Brian Boyer, Johnny on the spot to call a timeout with 1:29 to go. It's 68-66 Red Wolves. Arkansas State hasn't had a field goal in 3 minutes and 57 seconds. And this would be the time to change that with 1:29 to play and the lead at 68-66. Each team's in the 1-1. UALR 18 fouls. A-State now with 7. 18 on the shot clock for Arkansas State in a huge offensive possession in this ball game for the Red Wolves. Cadan will inbound it down near the end of the A-State bench. Gets it into Gamble. 15 on the shot clock. Dre at the top of the key. Has Cobbins on her. Now with 10, she gives to Lawson. Lawson puts it on the floor. Goes in, off the glass, too strong, in and out. Little Rock has the rebound. 2-point game with 1:12 to go. Now it's the biggest defensive possession of the game for A-State. 1:05 to play. Cobbins in the front court. Lob to Shanity James. 1 minute to play. 10 on the shot clock. Here's Galt. Got a big screen and hit another 3. Wait, now the official stops everybody again with 52 to go. Boy, they set a big moving screen and up top, and Galt made it count with a 3. Brian Boyer's asking for a moving screen, and he is exactly right. And Galt on that 3 that they're looking at right now has made it 69-68 Trojans. 52 seconds to go. They're over there looking, I guess, to confirm whether it was a 3. Galt has hit 4 of them here in the second half. And really all down the stretch here after A-State had taken a sizable lead. .52 seconds to go. Arkansas State's offense has dried up, and they need a bucket in the worst of ways now for sure. It is 69-68 Trojans. 53 seconds to play. A-State's gotten behind. This team sort of likes that position. Let's see if they can get a basket here. Gamble picks it up, clock rolling. Drea into the front court, gives to Gill. Brittany back up top to Lawson. Over to Gamble, left wing. 20 on the shot clock. Drea up top for Lawson. And what in the world is the call there? If they called 3, did they call 3 seconds in the final minute of a 1-point game? Was that the call? Oh my goodness. So here's Little Rock with the ball up 1 now. 35 seconds to go. There's about a 10-second difference. 9 seconds between the clocks. So A-State's not going to foul, but needing a stop. 13 on the shot clock, and Joe Foley's got to grab a timeout. How do you make that call at this point in this game? It's beyond me. 22 seconds to play. And Little Rock has the ball with 13 on the shot clock, leading 69-68. Folks. Trojans with 1 timeout remaining, A-State with 2. And that's, you got to be looking to make a big call when you make that one. .13 on the shot clock. A-State's defense out on the floor. A-State's fans coming to their feet. 22 seconds to play. Galt has the ball. 10 on the clock. 6 on the clock. Galt gives it out to Don for the nail. Missed it. Offensive rebound. Saved in play. The shot clock went off. Little Rock misses underneath. The shot clock sounded inadvertently, and now we got a foul. Is it against UALR? The shot clock didn't reset, and it should have, quite honestly. And now we have chaos with 4.8 seconds to play. As the play continued, we also have a whistle in there somewhere, so honestly, nobody knows anything that's going on right now. The officials have a whole lot of sorting out to do. And I don't know if they've got it sorted out yet. It's got everybody on their feet waiting for a conversation between 3 people in striped shirts. And what's going to happen here is, your guess is as good as mine. Another whistle blew underneath. I mean, the play continued way after that buzzer went off. Let's see. Caitlin Pratt picked up a foul. 3rd personal, 9th team foul. They let the play continue. Now that's as of right now. The play kept going, and basically an over-the-back foul on Pratt is the call right now. And it's Jasmine Hunt at the line for a 1-and-1. With 4.8 seconds to play in a 1-point ball game. One and one for the senior Jasmine Hunt. Jazz 1 out of 4 at the free throw line. Front end of the 1-and-1. Good! A big fist pump for Jasmine Hunt to hit the front end and tie it. And now Joe Foley's going to grab a timeout here. That's the most emotion I think I've ever seen out of Jasmine Hunt. She swished that one and gave it a big fist pump as she has tied the game with 5 seconds to play and a chance to put A-State on top after UALR's, well, should be, I believe, their final timeout. 5 seconds to go and we're tied at 69. And this one has been nothing if not entertaining, and I had no clue what's going to happen. Listen to the crowd. Well, Jasmine Hunt just hit the biggest free throw of her career, unless she hits one more. Then it may become the biggest of her career. Jasmine with her 8th point of the day tied the game at 69. The Red Wolves still don't have a field goal since the 5:26 mark. So the final timeout for UALR was a full. Both teams were able to sit on the bench. UALR is back out on the floor. Here comes A-State. Jasmine Hunt, senior out of Houston, Texas, trying to put the Red Wolves on top with 5 seconds to play. It's currently 69 all. Second free throw for Jasmine on the way. She hit it. 1 point A-State lead. A-State's going to go 2-2-1 here to try to slow the Trojans down. Galt Head of steam into the front court. Galt with a jump stop. Shot up, no good! And Arkansas State wins it by the score of 70-69 on 2 game-winning free throws for Jasmine Hunt. Little Rock's 10-game win streak comes to a close, and A-State pulls within a game of the lead in the Sun Belt Conference. What a thriller at the Convo. We'll have the Simmons Bank postgame show coming up after a timeout. This is Arkansas State basketball on the EAB Red Bull Sports Network.